Oh boy, that's it. Just click the button and we should be live. How you doing, everyone? We're just doing our checks, making sure we're live. I think we're live. Let's see here. It always takes a minute to make sure we're good. Okay, cool. That's it. Just click the button and we should be live. There you go. All right, cool. So we are officially live, everyone. Let's see.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, from wherever you are in
Good
the
evening.
world. Yeah, good evening. I'm Barbara.
And I'm Mark.
We're Wiki Design. We do tutorial videos, animation videos.
We do a lot of different things
A lot
now.
of different things now.
We used to just be web design tutorials. Now we're definitely, if you see on our channel, we're doing a lot different types of content now. So
If you
we'll
are
mix it
new
up.
here, hit the subscribe button because we have a lot of cool videos coming up in the future. And if you are a returning fan, welcome back.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so we'll just see if anybody else trickles in. But yeah, these type of live streams, we like to just hang out. We have like a loose agenda, but we like to just kind of chat about a few things that's kind of on our mind. Any kind of local news kind of going on in the web design or just internet.
Internet
Yeah,
world.
because definitely what we're going to be covering is not just web design anymore. Okay, so let me let us know if there's like any delay. We're doing a new setup again. Every time we do this, we tend to do something new. So
Still figuring things out, what's, the best way to do everything. But
yeah. So in here, we're just going to be sharing a few things on our screen here. So this is kind of like a new interface. I believe we can click and drag us around. Okay, cool. So yeah, if you're new to our channel, we just announced this right here where we have we're just starting out. You're probably seeing this, so you can help support other channels on YouTube. So in our case,
membership.
yeah, like a membership. Yeah, so $2.99 a month. You can see you get these little badges here. We might update these in the future, but the two big things is we're gonna definitely reply to comments that are members first, and then another big perk is we have a 25% off promo code on our Wiki Design store. So if you sign up, you're going to get that. So you could always just sign up, get the membership, and buy a few things on our store. So definitely a good value if you're going to be buying a few things. So yeah, it's just a way to kind of support YouTubers, and other YouTubers out there are doing the same thing because it definitely helps. Every little bit kind of helps support the creators and all of that. So
Yeah, so if you have a question, if you are a member, you'll get priority response because it is hard to respond to everyone that has questions about our tutorials. And, this is a way to
yeah, and
make sure that
when you do like these design, or I'm sorry to cut you off, but yeah, when you do these tutorials, a lot of times people ask very like customized questions, like to their specific use case, and we can't always respond to everyone like in detail. So yeah, if you sign up for that membership, we'll definitely make it a priority.
And speaking of the YouTube channel, I just launched a new video this morning on the differences between French menu design and American menu design. When you go to a restaurant in both countries, the menus are wildly different. I thought that was really interesting, so I made a video about it. So check that out.
The thing that I took away from that was definitely the kids menus. Like
Yes.
here in this country, in America, our kids menus are a bit of a mess. Like we like to just feed our kids chicken fingers, French fries, macaroni and cheese. Like it's very rare that you ever would see like vegetables or like, I guess sometimes they might have fruit, but yeah, we have friends of ours who like, some friends just feed their kids chicken nuggets, and then other friends like have their kids eating salad. So I came from the chicken nugget era, so I didn't start eating salads until I was in my 20s. So yeah, I think it's really important to, educate kids on good health when it comes to the food. That's definitely not something in this country that we put much weight on, is
No.
educating our kids at a young age about good
I
food.
mean, even adults, so it starts at childhood, but a lot of adults don't know how to eat properly in this country either. So yeah, check that video out. There's a lot of interesting differences, so I thought it was a fun one to make.
Yeah. All right. So the thing, oh boy, let me share my screen again here. Oh, you want to go?
Here's kind of what we're watching in this space. We're going to be talking about meta.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite topic.
Yeah, not in a good way. Yeah. So I came across this right here. I thought this was so interesting. So I watch a lot of tech news. So every morning I wake up, there's a thing called Daily Tech News. There's a whole network called Twit where they do like all these different types of tech news. So 90% of what I take in is all tech related. So I tend to not focus on political stuff or anything like that. But this really, really caught my eye. And we're in some really weird, bizarre times. And it's, in my opinion, not great. So as you know, Meta, who owns Facebook, Instagram, all of the, Mark Zuckerberg, he is going all in on AI, but he's going all in on AI where it's destructive at this point. It's very unregulated. Anything goes. And so I only had a Facebook page again, a Facebook account, because I joined some groups like the Elementor group and some other like things that were business related. I deleted all of that because if you start to look on your home feed on Facebook mainly, it's filled with just nothing but AI garbage. Like I'm talking like bad stuff. Like the one that really set me over the edge was like an airplane that was like crashing. It was all AI generated. So I was like, you know what? That's it. I can't do this shit anymore. So I deleted it. Now what they're doing is they're starting to they have these chatbots that I guess is user generated. So that's going to be the loophole that we're going to be talking about in a minute. But people are creating therapy chatbots now on Meta. And where it's frightening is it's kind of like you're role playing, like you're talking to a real therapist. And so this author right here really is concerned, and so is a bunch of other politicians that are trying to get questions on this shit. Because what you do is you go to these fake AI chatbots on Meta, and they will tell you that they're licensed therapists. Like they will literally give you like a license number and be like, oh, I'm registered in the state of New Jersey, that type of stuff. But it's not real. It's 100% fake. So yeah, that's concerning. Very, very concerning that
we don't know what these bots could be telling people. They could be telling people to do some really bad things. Yeah. So it's a huge concern. Yeah. So especially for kids.
Yeah, it's a great article. I guess, right here, there's a complaint to the FTC. They want to start, we got to regulate this crap. And the thing is, the way that they're going to get around this, because they're sneaky, is that it's user generated. So a user like me and you can go in and create a chatbot and just say it's this fake therapist, but it's giving you, therapy like responses, but they're not a real therapist. So I've noticed that if you use something like a ChatGPT, it will frequently tell you, seek a professional, mental health expert. Yeah, I don't think this is doing this. This is literally like, hey, I'm a real therapist. So I am begging people, please just get off of all of these Meta products because it's going to just continue to get worse and worse.
Yeah, it's really scary. I haven't had any social media in a few years now. I deleted my Facebook page in 2020 and we had Instagram a few years ago. But I've definitely seen a decline. It's from what my friends and family members have told me and showed me. A lot of what you're seeing on Facebook is AI generated stuff. It's all fake and it's all to sell you ads. So my concern, especially when it comes to like therapy stuff, is like, okay, there's these chat bots, or they're going to sell you like BetterHelp or one of these talk therapy things. And, when you talk to an AI, it's not a real person. They're not challenging you. They're basically telling you what it is that you want to hear because you're the one prompting it. So that's where it gets really concerning because there's people that I'm sure legitimately need to talk to a therapist or talk to a professional, and they're not doing that because they are just using this AI stuff. So,
and another thing I recently heard from someone, and it is true, when you chat with like an AI or, these chatbots, it's no different than like chatting through like a text message. And so we're already very used to having real relationships with people through text messages.
Yeah.
So that's why this feels so real, is because you could just switch it on and be like, okay, yeah, I think this is a real person I'm talking to, but it's kind of not. But like your subconscious is like, you know what, this is just a text format, like, message, and we're just used to it. That's all I gotta say. And that's frightening. I don't know financial wise why they would be doing this, but I think what they just want to be the network that you go and you use AI on their platform, and that's it. Like Meta is going to be the AI platform.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me why Mark Zuckerberg is going so deep into like AI generated everything, because the main source of income for Meta is advertisements. And if people are going on the platform and everything that they're seeing is fake, eventually they're going to start to realize it, and companies are not going to want to advertise on
right
a
next to
platform
garbage,
like that. And I would think so. I know that one of the things that he was talking about a few months ago was that there was going to be not these therapy chat, but just like regular chat bots on Facebook that were commenting on different posts to get more engagement. But I'm like, if the engagement is fake, then
what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? Like, why would somebody spend money on ads if the only people that are seeing it are these AI bots? It's just strange.
We're living in some very bizarre times, and I don't know. Definitely the cons are outweighing the pros with that platform, the whole universe.
Think just social media in general.
And I don't know. I'm starting to just almost beg people, like, please just get off this crap. Like, you do not need it. Like, we're not on it. And other than when I hear these stories, I don't really think about it too much. Like, do I have the FOMO? Oh, I'm missing out on something, maybe. But you have to outweigh the pros and the cons. Like, and definitely, when you start to just see this crap in your feed, it's not good, It's not good at all.
Yeah, it's really concerning, because I think a lot of people are going to fall for it. I mean, we have, unfortunately, like friends and family members that are on Facebook like all day long, and they don't think they really understand that the majority of
what they see
is fake.
That's very concerning. All right, cool. Yeah, what's up, David? How you doing there?
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, I saw you had an accessibility Elementor thing. I haven't quite watched all of that. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but yeah, I've been kind of hanging low on the news lately, what's going on in the web design space a little bit.
I feel like I need to catch up on a
few things.
YouTube stuff, because we had some family in town last week, so we weren't really on the internet much, so I have a lot to catch up to. So.
It's nice, it's nice to kind of disconnect. So I just thought that was a little frightening how these social media platforms they're getting out of control. This is spiraling quick, and I'm just like, I disconnected. So you don't see me. I was on the Elementor group once in a while and a few other groups, but I don't want anything to do with it. If it was like I don't have to ever see any algorithms, maybe I would be on those platforms, but I can't do it anymore.
Well, moving on to more positive things. We're working on some really cool stuff, so that kind of leads into next thing that we want to show.
Yeah, let me see. I don't have any of the animation going right now. I can close this article down, but okay, I think you could see the screen. I think we're covering in the bottom left here. Okay, cool. So what I'm doing, instead of focusing on the web stuff, I am going all in on learning Blender inside and out. And so I needed like a really good project. And so we sat down and I was like, you know what? Why don't we do something really cool? Like we could do, let me see if I can play this real quick. This is kind of what got me going as I saw this video. Okay, I think we can do it. Let me see if it's playing. I'm not sure if it's going to come across very well, but
we're building a mall.
We're building an 1980s/90s mall, and I found this guy has a great resource where he took a mall that he created inside a blender, and he's selling it. So what I did is I downloaded it, I paid for it, and I have all of these assets. And so I'm doing exactly what he's doing right here. I'm going and I'm starting to do this exact thing where I'm laying it out. I went to the mall yesterday, got some pictures. So I just need a really good project. I need something different. So that's what I'm going to be doing, building this type of stuff, and we're going to be documenting it as we go.
Yeah, it's going to be a big project.
Yeah,
but
I need it. Yeah,
I'm shocked with how much he's already gotten done in just the week that he's been working on it. I was really surprised. He's gotten quite a bit done. And it's a lot of fun because we're both 90s kids, so going to the mall was a thing that we did all the time. So there's definitely some nostalgic feelings with creating this.
So you can zoom in here like that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do?
This is kind of like our process board. We use an app called Milanote, and what's
nice.
Cool about it is that you can collaborate with multiple people and you can just drop all your ideas into it. So we have like some blueprints and some old this is Cherry Hill Mall, which is a mall kind of near us. I think it's like the first indoor mall in the country, maybe.
It's like the north. It was like one of the earlier ones. This is like from the 60s or 50s.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what, but it's one of the first malls. So we're kind of loosely basing it off of that. That's a mall that I used to go to all the time when I was a kid because I grew up in that area. So I remember kind of what it looked like, and definitely the stores. We're gonna have some old school 90s stores like Sam Goody and Suncoast
Payless
Video, Payless. So.
And then what I think I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna overlay it with some music later once I'm kind of finished. Add like an echo. You might have seen like those videos on YouTube where it's kind of like these 80s or 90s like renderings. We're gonna do an animation. So I'm basing it off of this layout right here. This is kind of like an older layout from the 60s. We just went to the mall yesterday and it doesn't quite look like this, but
it looks a lot different.
I'm gonna create the mall a little bit smaller just because it's gonna be my first one in a while. So I'm excited. I'm gonna have a whole arcade. That's gonna be the section where I'm most excited. So I have to custom make the arcade and the food court. The rest of it, I was able to download some of these models, and then that saved me a lot of time. But I can show you that this is the inspiration we had right here. How do you do this? So there you go. So I kind of like this vibe. Well, I originally got the inspiration from this rendering right here. So this rendering is someone inside the Blender community. They created this. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and create something similar. And so I was like, all right, let's just start. And the good thing is that this is going to give me just so much new work to work on. It's not web. It's something different, which is refreshing.
Also learning a lot about the program.
I am learning a lot. So some of the more advanced stuff is going to be like, I'm going to animate a fountain later. And I'm going to have, I was thinking maybe have people walk around. That might be the last, that's kind of like the final touches. But the next thing is I got the layout. So
now I got to work on the building.
Yeah, so here's just some inspirational photos. Let me go back into here. So far in the week one, this is what I'm at right now. It's not pretty, of course, but I kind of have the loose layout. Sorry, I'm trying to learn how to use this. Okay. So yeah, there's no roof or anything right now. I got to add that, but this is kind of the layout right here. I just kind of have these stores. I have to do a lot of work still, but for the first week, for the first week, I got all the buildings in here with that layout. Now I'm going to start adding all the storefronts, which takes forever. And then later down the line, that's when you start introducing like the roof and the better lighting. So yeah, I went in here and I basically laid out just like this, kind of like an L shape. That's going to be the layout. So yeah, fun stuff. It's very refreshing. Let me see. What else do we have over here? Anything else? No. Yeah, this is actually the layout we have right here. We're gonna.
Yeah, I made that.
Yeah.
For an Illustrator. What's cool about Blender is that you can take stuff that you create in Illustrator and import it in as an SVG.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of that type of stuff.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. Look for that in the future. I am working on a new video all about like dupe designs and copycat designs. Like if you you probably have seen like, you know, the dupes for like Lululemon leggings or like certain skincare brands that are a lot cheaper. I feel like that's really taken off in the past few years, and it used to be like you didn't want to buy the copycat or the off-brand name, but now it's definitely become more of a thing. So I'm going to explore that and kind of like why it's happening and why it's legal. And we're going to look at some different designs and see how close some of these dupes get to the name brand. It's really interesting, so look for that soon.
Yeah, that type of stuff is fun. So that's going to be kind of the content that she's going to be focusing on. She likes doing that type of stuff. And then, like I said, I'm going back all in on 3D animation. So it kind of, some people might ask like why I'm doing that, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And of course, you got to be talking this AI crap. So the reason why I really want to do it is because A, it's fun. B, I can integrate it into our existing clients. So we've already been having phone calls with a few clients, and they're very interested in adding this to their website and some new features and all of that type of stuff. So we have some interest already in it, but I like a good challenge, and I really do feel like the web design industry is it's fundamentally changed at this point. There is no way we're going back to how it was just a year ago. So what we're doing is we're not going to do any of this. I said on my last live stream, I'm not doing any of this vibe coding crap. It's just, I can't do it. I don't want to learn that type of stuff. It's very boring to me. I can't do it. I don't want like, she's like asking like, oh, what is vibe coding? I'm like, oh God, you don't want to know.
So he says like some people prefer the copycat brands. They're a lot cheaper. Yeah. I mean, we are Aldi shoppers. That's the grocery store that we go to every week, and they're like the king of the copycats and the dupes, and we love it.
Some of the stuff is like really decent quality. Some of it is not so great.
Like, I mean, there are some really good dupes out there. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. I think it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, this is why I'm not doing it, is just because it's
the vibe coding.
Yeah,
I understand what it is, but I don't understand why somebody would really want.
Well, what I don't get is like, who are you targeting? That's the thing, and it's like the clients aren't going to be doing this crap. You're not going to get hired to do it because the client's just going to know that you're just using AI slop everywhere. It's definitely not something that I'm interested in going. So I know that a lot of other people in this space are going that direction. I'm going a completely different direction. I'm honestly kind of
more
sad. I'm sad for the way that the web design industry is going, and it's not something that you can see I'm not very thrilled about the direction it's going. So as far as like content creation, I'm starting to see more and more people they're just going all in on that, and all right, more luck to them, but I'm definitely not going that direction. So that's kind of like the last thing we always like to talk about is like the love and hates. And one of my things I just said, I'm really hating the way that the web design industry is going. A lot of content creators just creating the same crap. So that's why I'm doing something completely different. I want to make something fun. I want to get creative again. I'm going to create an 80s/90s mall and have some cool music, and I'm going to learn a lot. And I don't have it in me.
I feel like a lot of people kind of are losing their desire to learn because AI and all these apps kind of like do everything for you. And not just with the web design world, but like with everything, I feel like people just they've gotten lazy and they don't want to like learn new things. They just like rather have an app do it for them, and I don't know if that's good or not.
And the thing is, like, I've seen some cool stuff. You can create some cool stuff with it, but like, who cares? That's what I'm saying. Like, unless you're going to sell that as like a product or a service, but then you have to support the security. You have to know what the hell you're doing. Like, you can't just create these things and throw it out there in the market.
Yeah, I agree that AI, there are a lot of great things that could be done with AI, and it should be an assistant, not the main tool. What I worry about is that the corporations that are funding all this AI stuff are just like, well, how can we make as much money as possible with it? And that's why we're seeing all of these weird AI generated images and ads and
apps
and stuff where, I mean, there's so many cool things that it could be used for, like medical stuff. And
this is why as soon as you leave the web design industry, like when I just referencing back to 3D. Nobody's talking the way that web designers are talking right now in the AI, in the 3D space. Like, it literally is still just being used, AI, as a tool inside of like the Blender and these other apps, because Blender at its core, you can write code and create really cool stuff with it. So that is just like an assistant. I'm not doing Vibe 3D modeling where I'm like, hey, make me an elephant that's 20 feet tall, or, I'm not doing that. You can't do it because the data sets just aren't there, because creating 3D is like still very complicated. And so I think that that's your only way out of this AI movement, is you got to go into something that is a lot more creative and technical. Like, will AI get there eventually in 3D? Yeah, probably. But I think it's many, many years from now, because it doesn't have enough data. So if a bunch of people made, Pixar level 3D models and just threw in AI models in learning systems, yeah, it might get there eventually, but it's not there. So I feel safe in saying that if you're going into like the 3D space, you're going to be a lot more secure. So that's why I'm going back into it, and it's fun again. I'm actually having fun again, because I lost. Making websites is still fun for us, but like it's lost its magic. Like, it really has. I don't really.
Well, it's gotten to a point where everybody can really do it. The tools have gotten so good. I made a video on this a couple weeks ago, and if you want to check that out, the whole I cover this whole topic about how we kind of ruined web design as designers and developers, because we made the tools a lot easier to use, and we marketed it so that everybody can use it, and now everybody is using it, and they're not creating the greatest websites. Everything kind of looks the same now. So it's a lot harder to do things that are creative and fun, because people don't really want that.
Yeah, I'm always saying the burden of supporting, the bug. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like people will create these vibe coding apps, and they're cool, but like, okay, you have an app now. You have to support it. You have to like update it. You have to have security in it. So most of these people who create this crap have no idea what they're doing. Like, they just throw crap on the internet and like, oh, this will work. So, like I said, it's not a direction that I want to go. Could I do that? Yeah, I could spin up something. But so that's what makes it so weird, is like, so could a client. A client could just go right behind you and just type in the same stupid prompts, get the same results, and then just export the code and be like, well, why do I need you to do it? So that's what.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's so stupid about this vibe coding, is like, unless you know a little technical about it and you can prompt in a certain way, you might have more value than someone who has no idea. But you could just type in. Like I said, I told her, I was like, the future is going to be where you could just go to AI and be like, hey, create me a CMS just like WordPress. It will go to the WordPress system, take all of that information, create something similar. And now, like you were saying, David, you have to now support it. Like, you're creating an app, and you have to keep supporting the damn thing.
Right.
But these people that are creating this crap, they're just going to move on to the next thing. So they're going to get burned out on that, and then they're going to probably leave the web design industry, because I'm starting to see people are leaving. Like, they're not sticking around anymore because they don't have any new clients coming in. They didn't sustain their business the right way. So
I feel sad for people that are like just getting into the industry. So I have a cousin, we met up, like I said, we had family in town, so we were seeing a lot of family members. I have a cousin who just graduated college, and he is an incredible illustrator. He's not in web design, but he's kind of in the design world, and he was asking us a lot of stuff. And the main thing that I told him, I was like, do not lose your creativity. Don't go down the road of, making things easier and faster with AI. Do something creative that you really love doing, because nobody's going to be able to take that away from you. You have to find a way to get creative and do things that AI can't do. So I hope that was good advice for him, because he's really excited and like passionate about what he does. He does great work. He's an incredible illustrator. Like he can create stuff like you would see in like the New Yorker, like those types of comics and stuff. He's really, really talented.
Yeah. And the way that like the AI works currently with like image generation or video is you have to like reprompt it if you want to change. Like let's say, guy running down the street with blue shoes or whatever. You do that and then you're like, oh no, I want to change them to red shoes, for example. And then it will like change his face or his shirt will change. So that's where it falls apart. And until they get that fixed, like, and here's the other thing too. They don't give you, it's not like, this is why it's so different with the web compared to like video or 3D. When you create this AI crap through a website, create me a website, it will give you the code. So you literally get the code and that's yours. Now, when you do these videos, they're not giving you the source files of the guy running down the street with blue shoes. There's no video. It's just fake. And then the same thing with 3D. They're not creating the 3D worlds. Like if you say, create me an animation of a castle and make it go around. You're not getting a castle with a camera inside, a Blender file, whatever 3D program. Yeah. So that's where it's different. And until it gets to that point, I'm not scared at all with the 3D or the AI inside of like video or 3D. So it's something to think about because, like I said, when you're doing the website shit, it's just giving you the code and that's it. Like you have, like that's it. I hope I'm explaining that good enough. Does that make sense? I'm like,
yeah, I think so.
And then what are you sick of? You're sick of...
I am, really hating all the spam texts that I've been getting lately. I don't know if this is happening to anyone else, but I'm probably getting like 5, 6 a day. It's just getting crazier and crazier.
What are yours? Because mine is funding.
Yes, I get a lot of funding. I get a lot of click this link to go somewhere and get money. It's and obviously I don't click the links. I'll never click the links. But just constantly I'm getting new things and it's just getting so aggravating.
Well, you were talking to some relatives, right? And they got taken advantage of through like a PayPal scam where they were like...
No,
was it the
this
bank?
was a call. This was a few years ago. This is horrible. They got a call from their bank saying that there was something wrong with a transaction that was recently made, and they thought it was from the bank. So they gave them their information, and then this person took all the money out of their account. And it took like a month for the bank to investigate it and get the money back in. I mean, it was just a horrible situation. So they learned that the bank's never going to call you, and if they do ever call, you call them back.
Yeah. Always call the bank.
Yeah.
For anyone
so it's
important.
just,
yeah.
it's just they're getting more sophisticated with the way that they do things, and like I'll get a lot of texts. It's like, oh, it's from Amazon or from UPS, and it's because people are always ordering stuff from Amazon or sending things via UPS, and it's just getting crazier and crazier.
Oh, yeah. I miss my Android, so we switched to iPhone. I did a couple years ago, and yeah, I miss the Pixel, had the call assistant. Now, the good thing is I think Apple's finally bringing that into their system, so I do miss that feature so much.
On the iPhone, it will say it's potential spam, but
it still goes through.
It still goes through, and you can like report it as junk, but I'm like, just don't give it to me in the first place.
I just assume, we just assume everything's a scam now, and it probably is.
I worry about like our parents. My parents are older. They don't understand technology as much, and they constantly are getting these calls and messages too. So I constantly am telling my mom to like just, if it's someone important, they'll leave a message and then you can call them back.
The one that a lot of YouTubers get hit with is they get their YouTube account like taken over, and I'm surprised they haven't really fixed this yet. But yeah, basically you click a link where it's like, hey, I want to help sponsor your video, and it's like a PDF, and then as soon as you do that, it will steal like your session like cookies inside your browser, and then they can hijack like it's like this whole system, and it's been happening for a while, and it's still, from what I can see on Reddit and stuff, it's still happening to people where their YouTube accounts are getting taken over. So that's frightening because
a lot of it It's frightening, and I feel especially concerned for senior citizens because they're the ones that these people target, and they don't understand what's going on a lot of the time.
We also heard on the other side too, younger kids and then older adults are getting taken advantage. Like younger kids, hey, you want to get the latest Jordans? Like the newest Jordans just came out. Click this link, and then it's of course gonna steal whatever on their phone.
I feel like the scams, like they're different. Like for younger people, it's stuff like that where it's like, oh, get this, product, but for older people, it's things like
your doctor, IRS.
Yeah, and when you're older, you tend to go to the doctor more, and you have more health issues. So they know that, and it's just these people are heartless.
Yeah,
and the things that they do are awful.
All right, cool.
All right, well, how about we end on a good note and talk about the thing that you love?
You go first.
Okay, well, I recently got a KitchenAid mixer, and I'm loving it. I'm baking a lot of different things, and it's been really fun.
And my love is I get to actually eat the stuff you give me. So you made bagels the other day, and it actually came out like a real bagel. Because I know, like with a bagel, it's got to be crunchy on the outside, soft in the middle. So I'm like, you got it down, but you got it down real good. And I was like,
well, I'm still learning a lot. I'm not the best baker, but
someone mentioned that their channel also was taking over as well. They had a lot of subscribers. Yeah, as far as I know,
yeah, I've heard about that too.
As far as I know, YouTube is pretty good at getting it back. I don't know, but the thing is, like, who do you contact? You don't just call 1-800-Google. It's like you have to go through their support forms, and see that's what's frightening too. It's like same thing with like Meta. Like if we go back to Meta. Like, you don't just call Mark Zuckerberg and there's a customer support. Like, there is none of that shit anymore.
Yeah, I feel like it's all being replaced, if there was any in the first place, with robots. Yeah. So.
Oh, cool.
Hey, so, Toby, how are you?
Yeah, you're still doing your beginner, like, tutorials on the Crocker Blocker channel. Do you have a lot more to go? I'm just curious. Like, they haven't really reached out to me recently about making any videos, so I think that they're probably just keeping it low right now on the content. As far as like Crockle Block, I haven't really been keeping up too much. If there's anything new, I'm just curious if there's anything new going on. I think was it Jet Smart Filters has some new stuff coming out like WooCommerce. That was another thing too. Is I told her I've seen Paul, WP Toots and some other guys covering that Fluent cart. So we might actually finally get a replacement for WooCommerce. When I told her about this, she's like, she's holding her breath because it's like there's been a lot of these companies who have tried to come out and go after that WooCommerce market because that's a huge market. If you can get that WooCommerce,
I would just love something that's a bit easier to use. Yeah,
it's and not so heavy on like. There's not a lot more. There's just so many bad things with WooCommerce. I mean, I just don't like how it's tied to automatic. So.
Well, I mean,
that's number one.
That's who created it.
No, remember, they bought it. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of stuff that Automatic has, they just acquired it. Like, Matt Mullenweg and his team didn't create WooCommerce. Like, they bought it.
Well, they created a lot of stuff for it.
Yeah. But I'm excited to get rid of it because it's just a hog. Like, especially on the back end, it really is pretty bloated. Even on our server, it's pretty bad. So, 12 lessons, just one. Wow. Oh, cool, yeah.
That's a lot. You did a lot of videos.
It's needed because, it's... When I make my Crocoblog videos, it's hard, or any videos really, because I'm like, I'm not sure who I'm talking to. Like, that's what makes it hard about creating videos, even when I'm doing my Blender videos now. Am I talking to somebody who just opened up the app, or am I talking to somebody who's been using it for 20 years and knows every inside and out? So it's really hard to kind of create some of these videos. Woo, SureCart, Fluent, North Commerce, I think is a bust. I tried to keep up with that one. They've been talking about it for years and very underwhelming. Honestly, the SureCart platform, I'm not a big fan of their kind of external ecosystem. I don't really want to be part of that ecosystem. I like the Fluent. I think is going to be a little bit better. Nothing against the team at SureCart or anything. That's the guy who creates SureCart, the abandoned cart, Sure Triggers. He has a whole bunch of things, and you have to kind of get in that ecosystem. And I don't know. It's not for me. Maybe in the future.
I do think it's getting better. It's still a lot harder to use than some other
the WooCommerce
platforms. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what is going in the right direction? Because I know that
they're making it easier to use. The interface has changed quite a bit, and it is easier to use, but it's still not that easy for people. And
like
it's hard to train people on how to use WooCommerce.
I think one of the biggest struggles for me with WooCommerce is like, I don't want to go into your template files and change code at a template level on like the email templates. Like that should be built in. Like it really, that type of stuff should be built in. I'm trying to explain too much, you lose advanced users. You explain too little, new users. Yeah, that's a struggle. And it's like I started doing the Blender tutorials, and then I was hitting very beginner. Like you open up the app, here's how you move objects. And so I'm like, okay, those videos can get a lot of views, and I hope they do. Right now, they're nothing on our channel, but those ones can get lots of views. But then I'm like, if I create really advanced ones, I'm just gonna skip over all like the intermediate content. I'm not sure where I'm going with my content right now, but in the beginning of this live stream, we talked about I'm creating like a whole 3D like mall. So I'm gonna just be talking about how I built this stuff out, because I think people are kind of interested in that, like all of my experience doing 3D animation stuff, like how I tackled it, the order I do things, because like you don't open up like a 3D program and like go straight to lighting. Like you do lighting last. So there's kind of like an order of things that you got to do things, and she's learning a lot while I'm teaching her how to do it, because she's going to be helping me with the signs and all the graphics and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
And if you explain somewhere along the middle, saying both groups, you lose all. Yeah, I know. It's great content, especially for multiple users. It can
be very difficult.
Yeah.
But you're doing a great job with it, honestly. You have some of the best videos out there on Crockablock, in my opinion.
Yeah, even as an advanced user, when I watch some of your videos, especially the query, that's like there's so much stuff in the query. I've learned a lot from you and like how you build out in the query builder. So even me as an advanced user, I'm like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, we can all learn. You do a great job of explaining how to do everything. So keep it up.
Yeah. So yeah, I think. Let me see. Was there anything else to really cover?
You didn't go over your love.
What was my love? Just talking about learning Blender. Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of said it before. I was like, yeah, I'm loving getting back into something different. It's refreshing, because we've been in the web design game for so long that I don't know. Would you say burnout? I'm sad. I'm generally just kind of sad for the way it's going, and I'm excited again to get back into something that I love. I'm kind of going back to my roots, because I did 3D animation back in like 2004. I was doing it, and I was heavy up until like 2010, and then I started going full in on like web again. So I'm kind of going backwards. Yeah.
Mark, someone told me they'd like me to do more structured playlists. Yeah. I think that really helps. That's something that we try to do, is put videos into different playlists. That way people can go through the whole playlist and see what other topics you cover.
Yeah.
So I recommend doing that.
I like this. Yeah. You like, thanks. Yeah. The animation, it is one of those things. It's kind of like saying, I know CSS. You don't ever just learn CSS. It's never ending. And with the Blender community, it's so refreshing, because it's like they're a lot more supportive. Like, of course, there's a few people who are like, "Oh, you suck," but the big thing about the Blender community is like, don't talk down to the noobs or the new people, because everybody starts from scratch, and so it's such a massive learning curve that I'm taking it on. Like, so many people they don't want to do that. They don't want to learn new things.
I wish that
more people
the web was more like that. I think back in the day, it was. Now it's like it's just, I feel like, so like churn out these projects as quickly as possible, and like, graphic designers, web designers, some of them have a reputation of being like know-it-alls. They're like, oh, that, like, I would have done it this way, or that looks horrible, you don't know what you're doing. And I think that's gotten worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things that he keeps saying about the Blender community is it feels like what the web community
used to be.
So that's refreshing. Everybody starts
Yeah.
from zero. So whether you're brand new in something or you're experienced, just give people grace, and instead of insulting them or making fun of them, why don't you try to help them be better? Because if we're all better, then we can create better things.
Yeah, definitely. Our channel is a mess. Like I'll be very, and I like doing that. I don't want to just follow one formula. We have such mixed content
we're changing things. I think we started the channel as, web design tutorials because that's what was working. That's what got us the audience. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But, as time has gone on, we've really shifted like what we work on. Mm-hmm. Just in general, we don't really work on a lot of new projects anymore. We take on less work. We focus more on our existing clients and helping them.
Yeah.
That's what our main focus has been on probably for like the past year and a half. So we need to change what we do because we don't want to just do the same old thing.
Exactly, yeah. And so this is what's interesting about our channel. You can see the views are very low sometimes, but then it will be weird. Like I'll get a couple hundred views on video, in the first month, and then 6 months later it could have like 10,000 views. So about 80% of our traffic is from Google search. So we make, for some reason, like we just kind of targeted evergreen and Google search. And so it's really hard to figure out who the hell, like, who are the web designers, who are the animators. So, because I can't get that data from like Google. All I know is that about 80% of our searches.
I would say right now, probably most of the people coming to our channel are still designers, web designers, not into animation, just because the animation is pretty new.
Yeah.
But I think a year from now, that's going to change.
Yeah, if I just start going a lot heavier on the animation stuff, the web will start to, I don't know, because we've done that before where we've kind of shifted our content a little bit.
But not like this.
No, this is completely different.
We're like, really focusing on.
Yeah.
And we are also planning on incorporating some of the web stuff
into the 3D,
which
I've already
and
done.
Vice versa. So, yeah, like we're just doing more creative stuff and different types of content.
Yeah, we're not following a formula. We're not following what Mr. Beast does or somebody. Oh my God, there's so much bad information out there. How to grow your YouTube channel. I'm like, what about just doing whatever you want? Like, I know a big thing is like, oh, you got to create content that your users want and your audience. But my audience is so segmented and I don't really understand who the hell's even watching it, and it's so hard to get that information.
It appears YouTube does something where it blows up over. Yes, that's happened to us for sure.
Oh yeah.
We've had videos, 6-8 months old that, got the typical amount of views that our channel would get, and then they just start to gain some traction.
Well, our number
I don't
one
really
video,
know why.
Yeah. Our number one video is, if we share here quick, I won't go to the analytics, but you could see our number one video is this one right here. If I go back into here, it's this one right here. So these are old. These are 4 years old. But this video right here is our number one video right now. This convert. I just created something real quick because I had how do you say a helix? To JPEG,
HEIC.
HEIC. This one is our number one video right now. It's at 47,000 views in 11 months. So this, when I go into analytics, this is by far the one that is growing the most. These Google My Map ones are starting to die down a little bit. But yeah, it's just this one is not related to web design at all. It's not related to animation. So this one is...
I mean, it's something that if you are a web designer, you probably have to do at some point. Change that format.
I just think it's so funny because this was just like a little one-off video I made real quick. I was like, you know what? Let me just show how everyone did it. And of course, that's the one that worked the most. It's like, that's, how it is. It's like, it's just pushing that one, which I think is so funny. But yeah, I've definitely never noticed now that there's a lot less Google searches. we're starting to get less traffic.
Yeah.
I think that's why the views are so low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after 3 months of nothingness, the jet engine. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works. I don't think we'll ever get a solid answer, but I
Yeah,
don't mind it.
because I made actually that video I made about getting back into animation. That one kind of like did a little spike right in the beginning. That's very rare for us to get a decent spike because our audience isn't like, I think since it's so fragmented, they're not sitting around watching our newest videos. So that's why when we release new videos, that we have such a low view count, and then some will be a bust, which whatever, and then some will just start to take off months later. And yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the Google search and that type of stuff. But
Yeah, it's hard to find a solid answer, but I just say, keep doing what you're doing. Make the videos that you want to make, and the right people will find them.
We'll see it, yeah.
Like to me, it doesn't matter if a video gets 1 million views or if it gets 10 views. If 10 people watched it and they got something out of it, that's good.
Yeah. This is something that I want to get better at, is for sure, is introducing yourself in each video and then adding like call to action. That's very, very good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's why I think it's good. Also, if I have a bank of animation videos that I was gonna make, like I have a whole list of like Blender tutorials, and then I was like, I don't want, that's gonna feel like me doing websites again. I want to create a project. I want to do something completely different. And she said she wanted to do this as well, where we create a big project and then we kind of just spin off a bunch of content on that. So we'll see if that works. And honestly, at the end of the day,
it's more fun for us to do it like that than just make like a list of these are the tutorials you want to do, let's knock them out. And I think that if you are interested in learning about this, you're gonna watch the progression and watch us learn.
Oh, cool. He likes our background. Thanks. That was all her.
Thank you.
I would have just had a white wall like everyone else. No.
Well, I feel like most people have the really dark.
Oh yeah, with the
like
panels,
the neon lights, which looks nice, but I wanted something different than what everybody else had.
As you can see, we do things a lot different here.
I like bright colors.
Yeah, and we have our yellow in our branding colors. It's a little bit different than this yellow, but it's close enough. So why not have that? And then the blue is one of our main blues on our logo. Of course, it's not actually the Helix color, but it's good enough. Yeah. All right. So, what is it? Helix hex color.
Hex color. I think you're.
I'm losing it. No.
You're getting too into animation.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. When I made my very first Blender tutorial, and there are shortcuts. Like a shortcut with your keyboard, and then inside WordPress is short codes. I kept saying short codes over and over every time I meant to say shortcuts. So I was like, shit. I did the whole video and I had to just reshoot it all. And then I put really big text on the screen and taped it to the side, say shortcuts. So as a content creator, you guys probably know you can make mistakes real easy because someone comes into animation like, what the hell's a short code?
Wish somebody could perform some magic on your video background. It's not hard, really. I mean, I just kind of looked at some images online of like what people did and kind of got some ideas from that, and then just really collected a bunch of stuff that I thought was interesting and that we like.
The major drawback to this room is very, very small.
Yes, it is a small room.
Very small. So that's why we're kind of close. I wish we had more space in between us and the camera. It's very, very small.
Yeah, you can do it though. You just have to collect things that you like.
Yeah, make mistakes like that. Yeah, it was. I watched the video and I was just like, this is not going to make any sense to anybody. And I asked her, she's like, yeah, reshoot it. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. I've had to reshoot an entire video recently because the camera
was it? Oh no, the camera.
Like I had some weird filter setting on it, and I just looked like very faked and Botoxed, and that's not how I am.
This is our very first time we're using her iPhone. So what we did is we had that Sony ZV-1 camera, and I resetted the filter. I reset everything, and then it put this filter on her face. And then we both just turned to each other, and I was like, we're sick of this damn camera. So we took it, boxed it up, and we sold it, and we got a couple $100 still for it. So I use an AI video editing app so I can make that kind of mistake. Well, that's good. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. We just reshot it.
Yeah. I was like, I got practice doing it, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that if you are a YouTube content creator, you've had to deal with. Everybody's had to deal with that, where you're just like, you do a whole take and then you realize, oh, like this was not recording, or the audio is messed up, or something. It's gonna happen.
Audio is the one that's like the worst, because it's like you could do some stuff with filters with video, but audio, if it sounds like crap, you're screwed. Yeah. Yeah, let me see. Stay for a couple more minutes. Let me see. I have a small monitor which I write reminders. Oh, that's good, because I literally I think I had a piece of paper and I just taped it to the side of my monitor. I was like, shortcuts. It was.
Yeah, we all have made mistakes like that. It's inevitable when you're creating content. That I don't think people realize how much editing and retakes go into
it. Yeah.
What I do. I know that I make tons of mistakes.
Well, I tried to tell her that because she wants to get more into video, I was like, the more you get into video, the more expensive it's going to be. You're going to be like, oh, I need the latest lens. I need this latest camera. I need this latest software. It never ends. So video, what they call it, video heads, video gadgets. These are people that just, I used to work with someone who was a video editor, and every week you had to get a new Mac, he ran out of space. He would have to keep getting hard drives.
The hard drive space I could see that becoming an issue, but so far we're good, I think, with the setup that we have.
It's simple enough, yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for everyone for joining. We're going to be out of here. Keep creating good content out there.
You guys, both of you guys, Toby and Dave, and you guys are killing it with the content. And
I like you guys aren't doing AI stuff yet.
Well, like I said in the beginning, we had some family in town, so I've been kind of like off the internet, but I need to catch up and watch y'all. All the stuff that you've been putting out, because you guys do really good videos. So,
well, are we going to create Elementor videos when they come out? I don't know. With the newest Elementor,
I'm sure we will do something. I'm not sure exactly what, but I have some ideas for some new things. I'm kind of just waiting to see.
We're just kind of waiting on the sidelines,
with it, and I have some ideas for other videos right now. But I have some cool ideas for really neat like website designs and things like that, so we'll see.
Alrighty, cool. Thanks everyone for joining, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
See ya.